Well, welcome back, everybody. This is episode 29. I believe this is 29. Big episode, getting close to the 30 mark. That's an exciting thing. We're both getting to the age 30 mark too, so that's kind of a
Yeah,
scary thing. But
that's really scary.
what do you think is a bigger accomplishment in life, episode 30 or getting to 30 years old?
Getting to episode 30 before we're 30 seems like the accomplishment.
You think we can get there? At
I
this
think we
pace,
should
it's
get
going to be
there.
questionable. Our last episode that we were on here was Christmas, so that was a Christmas episode. It is
Yeah.
now February 29th. Shout out leap year. Happy leap year, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. We've never done a leap year episode before.
Yeah, so there's always a first for everything, and this is the first one for that. So that's always exciting. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this special February 29th episode. Very rare. It's like the Olympics.
Yeah,
Speaking of that,
absolutely.
are you an Olympics guy?
I used to be when I was a kid. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I still definitely like it, but it's harder to consume everything with like a job now. And it's, depending on the time zone, it's like might be on during work, which is like kind of fun to have on sometimes if there's an event that I care about, but it's harder to like be all encompassed, I think.
Do you think when you were younger, you were more prideful of the United States and you hated other countries as well? Do you think that helped fuel your emotional drive?
I probably hate countries more than I used to, but I think I like the US less than I used to. So I don't know. It kind of both.
It balanced out, you think?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
How
My
about you?
American pride has definitely probably gone down as the years have gone on, but yeah, I think the Olympics are exciting, but I agree with your take there that like when you were a kid, it was more popular. Like I kind of remember like having some Olympics events on like during school. The teacher would put it on the TV to like watch, kind of like a March Madness thing, where like it's like a pride thing. You know, it's the Olympics. We're gonna root on like America, USA. But like as we've gotten older, and as like you said, depending on where it is, like you might have Michael Phelps swimming in the middle of like a Tuesday workday. And
Yeah.
it's just like kind of hard to get away. But social media has helped a little bit, like where you get to see the coolest clips, like the
Yeah.
best, closest races, the world records and things like that. And
Yeah.
do you think like
Yeah,
some
for
of the
sure.
lust has gone away with like some of those legends kind of being out of the Olympics too, like Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps, Shaun White, like there was these guys like or ladies like I have no idea what her name is, and I'm gonna sound sexist, but that woman swimmer who like
Yeah.
set all those
I know.
records, a really young one. She was like 18. She might still be swimming because she was so young a few Olympics ago. But those like athletes that are really special, they kind of make the Olympics more
Katie
memorable, I think.
Ledecky. Katie
Yeah, Katie
Ledecky.
Ledecky.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
She's probably on a Subway commercial or something somewhere.
Yeah.
So I would think that definitely makes the Olympics more exciting, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. And I think we probably come to a weird point, just like with like science and like technology, where like I think those athletes kind of had the perfect storm of like being awesome athletes and being ahead of their time and competing against people that like weren't as good. But like now there's so many, so much technology, like everyone is just so fast. Like I don't think anyone's going to break a lot of those records, like in terms of like medal count. Like, Usain Bolt's times will be broken eventually because people get faster, but like how he was able to just dominate, we're not going to see as much dominance.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like balanced out more than it
Yeah.
was in the past. You
Yeah,
see that like in like team sports too. Like
for
think
sure.
of like USA basketball. They
Yep.
dominated for a while and like now it's super balanced. Like we might not even win the Olympics this year, but that has a lot to do with like people sitting out of the Olympics too. I think
For
I
sure.
saw a couple guys like
Drew and
tentatively
Booker.
committing. Yeah,
Hmm.
so like there's a couple good players that like Steph Curry, I don't think he's ever done an Olympics. So it's like good to finally have him there. Maybe he's like realizing like, well shit, I'm 36 or whatever he is, like last chance probably to play for the Olympics team. I should probably do it and try to get a gold
Yeah.
medal.
Yeah, and it's funny. There's a lot of Timberwolves players that were in like the FIBA World Cup last year, and so I follow international basketball pretty closely, and it's just interesting how like Rudy Gobert, is not probably a top 15 player in the NBA right now, but like he's going to do the international play every year. Like that is just as important to him as the NBA season. And then you have like Anthony Edwards, who's like a rising star, like probably the best player on Team USA last year. But like for him, it's kind of like taking of the torch, the next wave, and for him, it's just to get that experience.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm definitely a sucker for at least this soccer and basketball in the Olympics. Like I do like the big team ones.
Isn't it kind of sad, like the players that look at the Olympics as like time off from their sport? Like, I
Yeah,
get it, but also like, dude, it's the Olympics. Like, you have the chance to be in the Olympics, which is every 4 years. You get to play
yeah,
for your country. Like, why would you not want to be out there?
absolutely, for sure.
Did you
Yeah,
watch that? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I just think having a gold medal on your resume would be like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, exactly. And like paying for one of those teams that like becomes legendary and being on that team, like even if you're not like super memorable, like Darren Williams or like Carlos Boozer on those
Right.
like USA teams in like '08, it's like, isn't that amazing? Like you get to go into your house and see like a gold medal and you played with like Kobe, LeBron, Melo, like
Yep.
all these legends, Chris Paul. So I would definitely play for the Olympics if I had a chance. That's for
Oh,
sure.
dude, for sure. It'd be so cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they would ever ask me, but if they ever need like a manager or something, I'm
Like
down.
a little gray squad.
Yeah, yeah, a little gray spot in the Olympics. Me and Max Pilkerton will get out there with the towels on the floor and
Yeah.
get wiped for sure. I also do like how passionate the international players are about it. Like you said, that's their Super Bowl, which is how the Olympics should be. But I think
Yeah.
like the American players take it for granted often, which is why we get spanked sometimes. Like these international players like have a lot of pride in it. One thing that I think is funny, not funny really at all, but like weird, is players that were born in the country, lived there for like significant amount of their lives, and then came to the U.S. and now they can like play for the U.S. team or like play for a different country. So like my example that I'm thinking of specifically is Joel Embiid. Like
Yep.
he was born in Africa, like grew up there until he was like 17, I think, and then came to the U.S. to go to college at Kansas, and now he's like, he said he would play for Team USA, and I'm just like, that really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like Giannis, like why does Giannis? He should be able to play for. He's playing for Greece,
He
right?
does play
I
for
would
Greece. Yeah.
imagine.
Well,
Okay, I thought for some reason he played for someone else.
no, he plays for Greece. The other examples that actually confuse me more are the guys that are born in the US and play for other countries. Like Paolo ended up playing for the US last year, but he could have played in Italy. And like Cat played for the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, that's
And
tricky too. I
like
mean, it's the
I think
same. Yeah, it's the same thing, but
it's
opposite.
opposite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You should play
And
for like kind of
but
like your
Embiid is
heritage.
a US citizen, I think. I don't think Cat is like a dual citizen with the Dominican. That's why I'm confused. Maybe he is, I don't know.
That's weird, yeah. But I would lean towards you should just play for like your like family's home country maybe or like your heritage. I don't know, like
Sure.
which is tough because like if a player was born in the U.S. and has lived in the U.S. their whole life, like they should play for the U.S. Like I could
Yeah.
definitely see that argument. But then I think like a good way to balance out like there's a ton of international players that like were born in the U.S. like their families are international, so I think like it would be best for the competitive balance to like have them play for like their like family's heritage, I guess, in their country
Yeah. No,
and be more
that's
prideful.
fair. Well,
Yeah.
and I think too, like, you were talking about how the US is kind of disappointed. I think this, upcoming Olympics could be cool in the fact that like Greece has a chance, some of those Eastern European countries with, have good players as well. Canada's really good and France is really good. Spain always has, a
Spain's
handful of
always
NBA
good.
players. So like, it's kind of like I think if the US puts out a good team, like I'd still pick them to win and I'd be really excited. But like there are a lot of teams that like the talent is actually legit. Whereas in like 2008, the team that even Spain was trotting out, like, yeah, it had a few NBA players, but like it's nowhere near where it is today.
Yeah, it's way more balanced now. I would say that 100%. Yeah.
Like Team Canada might be better than most NBA teams, which is just, nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty rare to see that. So that's why I think like maybe the questionable and like the increased competitiveness and like the fact that the gold medal is not guaranteed will help like a lot of US stars want to play for Team USA to like make sure we bring the gold home. And I also
Yeah.
think like it's an end of a certain era of players where like those guys will want to go out there and play for one last one. I already talked about Steph Curry. You got LeBron, obviously. Kevin Durant is towards the end of his
It'd be really
career,
fun.
unfortunately. So like getting those guys out there would be cool, like for one last kind of trot out there, and then
Yeah.
mix them with some of those young stars.
And that's like too again like I'm biased, but like if Anthony Edwards like do like that Team USA like with LeBron, like that would be such a cool experience for him.
Yeah.
Just to get to know those like legends, and he probably won't play a lot, and maybe wouldn't contribute a ton to the team, but just being there would be so cool.
I mean, shit, I would play him over Drew Holiday for sure.
Yeah, well, but I think Drew is not to get like too like in the weeds with sports talk, but like Drew's kind of like what Team USA needs, right? Like a low usage, like can actually go out and like defend Luca or whoever,
That's
and
true.
he's not going to like US Team USA is going to have enough guys who can shoot the ball.
You
We
don't
need a
just need
couple
all
guys
us
who
all five guys to just get a bucket. Yeah,
exactly.
that's a good point. Yeah. Okay, well that's good. That was a good talk about the Olympics. Are you in a summer Olympics or a winter Olympics guy? Sounds like summer.
I prefer summer, but I'm not as okay. Two quick rants here. I think track and field, okay, that I'm fine with that. I'm neutral on track and field, but gymnastics I think is super overrated. I know that that's like everyone loves it, and I just I don't know. I just
What do you
can't get
think is
into it too
overrated
much.
about it?
I just think I don't know why it's the headliner event in most cases. I don't know why it gets the most, I just don't think it's the coolest. No, it's very cool, but I don't know. Are you a big gymnastics fan?
I'm incredibly neutral on gymnastics, so
Okay.
I just wanted to hear your opinion. You sound like you were passionate about it, so I was interested to see like what your take was. I
I
mean,
also would feel weird if I was like super into like USA gymnastics. Like I just like I don't know, that just gives me a weird vibe.
well, yeah, you'd be
You creepy
criminally
dude.
horny. Yeah, you'd be
Yes,
super
yeah.
horny. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you were just out there watching like leotards all day long, like I'd be
exactly.
like, Greg, you got to get back to work, dude.
Yeah.
Close the laptop, get back to work. But I could go either way. I think it's cool like when there's a dominant like gymnast and like it's
Yeah.
drawing attention to like Simone Biles. Like
Piles,
you
yeah.
got people that are like watching specifically for like certain athletes that are incredible at what they do. Then I think that's cool. But like I'm pretty neutral on it overall for sure.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fair.
they're adding flag football to the Olympics. Is that in 2024 coming up or is that 2028?
I thought it was 2028,
Okay, so they're pushing
but
it
I
back.
could be wrong.
I'm a golf guy too, so I think golf in the Olympics is cool. I think that's kind of fun to watch. Like, I mean, there's a little bit of the lust is taken away because there's like the Ryder Cup, obviously, which like draws a lot more attention, and is really exciting for golf fans. But I think the Olympics is always cool to like go out and play for your specific country and try to win a gold medal. So
For
that's all.
sure. It's way different. Same with tennis, same kind of thing.
Yeah, same kind of concept. So that's good. The Olympics are dope. I mean, when I used to downhill ski, then I was a big Winter Olympics guy. I think it was cool to watch those. I mean, I would prefer, this is maybe like kind of blasphemous, but I would always prefer watching like the X Games over the Winter Olympics. But I
Mm,
think Winter Olympics is cool because it's higher stakes. It's
yeah.
once every 4 years. But like, I'd rather watch like big jump with like crazy tricks on X Games versus like slalom skiing and seeing like a Russian beat an American by zero point 0.2 seconds. That doesn't interest me as much, but seeing like these athletes pour their heart into like training for 4 years, going out there and just like 30 seconds worth of a race, basically trying to win a gold medal, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, I think my peak like Olympic viewing experience would be like Wednesday night, having like a sip of whiskey and just like kind of having like the highlights of the day, and that may include some downhill skiing and you just see like that green line in front of them that's like the world record and you see them just chasing after it. So like maybe watching a few of kind of each event compilated, and the I forget who does um the big overview each night, but um now it's going to bother me. But
The overview
anyways,
is cool, like Bob Costas.
but yes, Bob Costas,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Just
The overview is cool to see like what was happening. Oh, I'm a big bobsled guy too. Bobsleds are dope.
Bob
So
says cool, yeah.
that's cool in the Winter Olympics. You ever seen Cool Runnings? It's a bobsled movie about Jamaicans.
I have not.
Oh, great movie. You should watch it. It's funny. It's about Team Jamaica trying to, I think they're originally trying to get an athlete there for track, and
Yep.
then he gets hurt or like screws up like the qualifying event. So then instead of waiting 4 years to go to the Olympics, like the coach tries to convert the Jamaicans into a bobsled team, and they've never had a bobsled team before. So like they have like the shittiest equipment. They obviously can't really prepare for bobsledding in like the middle of like Jamaica. So then they basically learn like how to do it, and it's pretty cool. Like inspirational movie, I
That's really
guess.
cool.
But you
That's
should watch
awesome.
it, and it's very
Yeah,
funny.
sounds
So
sounds like a good feel good movie.
it's a good feel good classic. Like I think it's technically like a kids movie too. So very good though.
Cool, cool.
On a darker note, I had to go to the DMV yesterday.
Ooh,
When's the last time you were at the DMV?
probably 2.5, 3 years ago in Louisville.
That's recent. Were you getting your driver's license in Kentucky?
I was getting a real ID, yep, and I have not gotten a new one in Illinois.
Well, when does your Kentucky one expire?
2028. It's like it was like
Yes, you might as well just wait till it expires, right?
yeah, no, for sure, yeah. But I mean, like technically, I'm supposed to update it when you move.
Are you supposed to really?
Yeah, within like
Oh,
6 months. Yeah.
oh shit, I didn't know that. Whoops. But anyways, I went to the DMV because my Wisconsin license that I've had since 2016 was expiring on my birthday,
Hmm.
and we're taking a family trip to Florida. So when we fly out, it would have been fine, but then when we fly home, my license would have been expired. So I'm cutting a little bit close. I went to the DMV yesterday. I got the sheet of paper, and then they're mailing the real ID, which is going to take, she said, 3 to 4 weeks. I fly out in like 3 weeks. It's going to be a close call. It's going to
Do
be
you
a
at
real
least have the
close
paper
call.
that like says like this is proof?
Yeah, I got the paper. I got the paper. I just didn't know if like you can fly with the paper. I'll probably bring my passport too, but
Yeah, well then you're good. One time I was taking an actuarial exam and your like license needs to match like your registration, and I had like had the paper, and they like had to call into like actuary headquarters to like make
Oh
sure
my
this was
God.
acceptable to like allow me. So I had to sit for like 45 minutes just in this waiting room, not sure if I could take this exam. And I'm like, I have a legal license. Like this is literally provided me to this by the state. Like this is bogus. But it worked out okay.
Was it different? Like, did you have your name spelled different or something? Or what
No, it
was the
was the
big
exact
like
same,
hold up?
but it was just because it was the paper. Like,
Oh, you didn't,
they
yeah.
you didn't have the physical yet.
Yeah. See that
Well,
they always freak out about that, but it's like the DMV is the one giving out the papers. Like, can't we come up with the technology that it prints off the card right then and there?
yeah,
Like at the VA, we have these cards that we use to get on our computers and like get into doors and stuff. They're called PIV cards. So apparently, one of my coworkers yesterday told me you can get use that to get through TSA as well, since it's like a government issued ID, I guess.
yep,
But those, like, you go into your PIV appointment, they type in the information, you take a photo, and then it prints off your card right there. And it has like a chip that like can get into computers and get into doors, and like that seems way more high technology than
that's
just printing
cool.
off a driver's license. So it's like
Absolutely.
if the government, who is, I guess the DMV is the government, but like if the VA that's 100 years behind everyone else can do it, like the DMV can definitely figure it out. But they're probably just cheap and shitty that they can't do it.
What was your experience? Was it rated out of
Honestly,
10?
like, out of 10 is going to shock a lot of people, but I'm going to give it like an 8.5.
Wow, you must have
Yeah.
had a nice lady.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I was at a bar getting dinner with Jackie, and for some reason it came up. Oh, because I have a Wisconsin ID and it's vertical. And so, like, vertical license always like raise a red flag for bartenders. And then
Yep.
also, it's Wisconsin, so vertical Wisconsin, and it's super old. Like it says, I'm 170 pounds. So the lady was like, "You're way fatter than this, so this must be a fake." But then I was basically like, "Yeah, I know it's almost expired. I'm gonna go to the DMV on this weekend and get a new, Nebraska license." And then she's like, "Oh, make sure you get an appointment." And I was like, "An appointment at the fucking DMV? Since when? I didn't know you could even do that." So then, luckily, that for this bartender, this high school girl told me to get an appointment. Then I go, I do some research, I schedule an appointment. I get there. Of course, I get it's like a golf tee time. I get to this appointment like 1 minute after my appointment starts, and like the sheet says like, "Do not like please arrive 10 minutes before your appointment, or your appointment will be rescheduled." When I walk in, I check in at the little kiosk, I type my like confirmation number, and then right after I type it and hit enter, it says like now serving, uh, counter 12, appointment two two
Oh,
two
that's
four six
cool.
seven. So I walk over to counter 12, give her the stuff that I need. I brought like way extra shit just in case she didn't like say like, "Oh, you need this, you need to go home and come
Yeah,
back."
yeah.
I brought way more shit than I needed. Gave her what I needed, typed it all in, gave her my old ID, and then I did the eye test. And I definitely need some glasses, but I think I passed the eye test because she gave me like the paper license. She was like $29 for cash or $38 for card. So I look at my wallet. Luckily, I had a 50. I gave her a 50, did the cash route. So saved the like
Dang,
$9 fee or whatever. And then I was out of there in like 10 minutes. And there was like 30 people sitting in the chairs waiting because they didn't have appointments, I think. And so I
dang.
probably would have been there for like 3 hours at least if I didn't have an appointment.
That's
The
nice.
reason I didn't give it a 10 is because I have a Wisconsin license plates on my car. And in
Hmm.
Wisconsin, I don't know about Chicago or Minnesota or Louisville, but in Wisconsin and Milwaukee County, we have to do emissions tests,
Yep,
which like
yep.
basically they
We
just can see like how your car's emissions are, which is bullshit. So instead of like always going home and renewing my license plate, I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna get a like Nebraska license. So I tried to ask the lady, I'm like, "Hey, can I also do a license plate today? Like, do you have time for that?" And she was just like, "We don't do them at this DMV." And I was like, "Excuse me?" She was like, "You got to go to the one by the YMCA." I said, "Okay, well, that doesn't really help me. Do you know what like street it's on?" And she was like, "I'm pretty new here, so no, I don't really know." I was like, "All right, well, fuck it, I'll just Google it. Thanks for your help, though."
Did you go and get that at the other one, or
I
you
didn't
gonna
do
make an
that because
appointment?
that expires in June, so I'm probably gonna procrastinate
Yeah.
on that till probably end of May.
Dang. Yeah, no, that's cool, the appointment thing. That's how it was in Louisville too. Definitely makes it, a better experience.
Yeah, for sure, get an appointment if you have to go to the DMV because that made my experience 10 times better.
We did almost have a passport, a similar situation with Sophia's passport before we went on our honeymoon,
Yeah.
where we didn't really know this, but if your passport expires 6 months before you travel, you may not get let in to the country that you're going to, because if you're there for long enough, then they're like, well, then you have an expired passport. And so you have to like it really kind of expires 6 months before it expires because some countries don't take it.
Damn.
And we were flying into a French territory, and then we're going to a British one. The British one said it's fine if your passport is expired, 6 months later, that's fine. We don't care. But the French colony said if you can't come in if you have, a passport that expires in 6 months from now. So we realized this like a month before, which is not enough time to get a new passport. And so Sophia had to make an online appointment 14 days out from when we were leaving at one of the 26 passport agencies in the United States. Luckily, there's one in Chicago, but they only allow you to schedule them 14 days from when you travel. Like you can't do it like, oh, I know I'm going to travel in a month and my passport expires in 3 months. No, it has to be 14 days out. So we like set a, reminder at midnight, 14 days out from when we're leaving to like make an appointment. She makes an appointment in Chicago. And she brings all of her paperwork and stuff and it works out. But it was scary because like if there wasn't an appointment available and like some dates there weren't, like she would have had to travel to like Detroit to like go get her a passport.
Do they know when? Do you have to show like your plane tickets to show when you're leaving for your
Yep,
trip?
yep,
What?
yep, yep. So
That's
you have to
bullshit.
show proof of like leaving the country and coming back. Yeah, and it wasn't that much more expensive to do this like expedited, but it's interesting you're talking about like printing it right there. She had to come back the next day to pick up her passport, so they printed it within one day. Um, but again, like if she had to go to Detroit, she would have been like having to stay in a hotel, like staying an extra
Yeah.
day, like missing work. Like,
Damn. I was just
yeah,
about to ask you like where you even go to get a passport, but I thought like every post office does it. I thought like
no, there's 26 in the US.
what? I thought there was a
Yeah.
passport where a place you can get a passport in every city.
You can apply for one and then they mail it. But if you actually physically have to go to the office, you're shit out of luck.
So if you need one urgently, you have to go to the post office, like the actual um, passport offices. But you can
Yes.
go to like a post office or something if you just need a regular one, like on a normal time frame.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So most people could just do that, but it
Yeah, for
might
sure.
take
For sure.
2 months or something. Does it take a long
Yep.
time? That's a
Yep. And you
disadvantage.
can pay for expedited, but then like, we were kind of at that 1 month mark where it's like, expedited might take 3 to 5 weeks. And it's like, well, we might miss it then.
That's
So
kind of close. Yeah. Where did you
yeah.
go on your honeymoon again?
We went to Anguilla. So it's in the Caribbean, pretty small island.
You sure it's
It was
not
a good
like
time.
Anguilla? It's Anguilla.
We thought it was Anguilla, like because it actually comes from a Spanish word meaning eel, but it's a British island and they pronounce it Anguilla. So it's Spanish origin pronounced
So
British.
it's just racist British people that don't want to assimilate to the country, the actual name of
Yeah.
the country.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I was going to mention about the French that wouldn't let you into the country. Do the French understand that if we go to war with them, we will crush them? So they should be more generous to our citizens.
I should have brought that up. I should have brought in an
Yeah,
expired
you should have
passport
said,
and
"Have
said,
you
like,
seen our
if you
military?"
don't let me in this
Yeah,
country, we're
yeah.
dropping a nuke on you.
I would just be like, "Don't make me call Trump, dude, because we'll fuck you up." Uh,
Yeah.
well, that's good. How long were you there? 7 days?
We were there 6 days. 6 days.
Very nice. It looks
Yeah.
like a very nice time. I want to hear like your highs and lows. I'm sure there's more highs than lows, but then first I want to hear so I don't forget about it. I followed it a little bit on social media, and I saw one day that you guys had the metal detector out looking for her ring. So what happened with that situation? I've been waiting to ask you.
Yeah, so Sophia, we were just laying at the beach. I'd gone snorkeling. It was a nice time. Sophia decided we had this bag. We got these, beach bags that were just kind of a some kind of I don't even know what material it was, but like I don't know, hemp kind of bag that like was, that we got at the resort and we, put your clothes and books and whatever in. And Sophia decides to put her ring in just loosely in the bag, even though I had like a glasses container, something that we could have
Yeah,
just
something
or,
much more
or
fun.
maybe leave it back at the safe in the in the room. Lots of alternatives here, but she just sets it, loose in the bag. Doesn't tell me either. And at some point, we don't know where the ring is. And she's like, well, what'd you do with it? I was like, I didn't know there was a ring in
Oh, of
there. And
course, starts blaming you.
so, so like maybe like I put, I had my shirt in there. Maybe it was on my shirt and I took my shirt off and it, went flying. So then, a couple comes over, kind of tells that we're stressed out and like looking for something. And then they like start helping out. Other couples start helping out. We're just like combing through the sand and we don't find it. And so then we like, someone goes and asks, like someone working the resort, like, do you have a metal detector? Someone lost their ring, and luckily they do. So they have to like call up, they're bringing it down. And so we've got like now 5 resort workers working on it, a few old couples. Eventually people give up. This is about 30 minutes in. And so I'm just working with the resort workers, and they do not know how to use this metal detector. Neither do I. Like, to be fully transparent, I'm not used to using it. Um, but then there was this couple that we had just met. Shout out Jason. He lives in Valparaiso, Indiana. And him and his wife were in the pool, and they were kind of like looking at us, and his wife
You
had like told him,
you didn't
"Go
care to
ahead."
learn the wife's name. You only know Jason's name.
No, I know the wife's name. I'm just trying to blank on that spot right now. I have their phone
Okay.
numbers. We got dinner
Okay.
with them. This is
Okay. Keep
embarrassing.
going.
um, Anyways, apparently, like the dude used to work Jason used to work in construction, but the wife didn't want him to like interject because like sometimes he's a mansplainer. But then he's like, "This is killing me. I got to go help him out." So then he like shows us how to use a metal detector. Lifesaver. We start making some progress. We start finding nails. We start finding like metal emblems in the sand. We found a fork, like a foot into the sand. And so we started making progress. And they kind of like, I just like finally asked, like, can I use a metal detector? Because we were just like randomly going around. Like I just wanted to like make lines, make sure we covered everything. And so I start doing a process and finally find it about 2 hours in. The crowd goes like everyone's on the beach. Like I put it up and everyone goes nuts because everyone's just watching me. They're pissed off because I'm like making these like metal pings,
Beep, 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 beep.
like
Yeah.
exactly like disrupting their time. People were actually crying because they were like thinking back to like when they were on their honeymoon and like how stressful, like, which is way too dramatic. Like we weren't crying, and our ring was insured, so I wasn't like stressing that much, but Sophia was. She was at the bar pretty stressed. So
Sophia seems like she'd be
she had
freaking
given
out.
up too. Yeah.
She seems like she'd be freaking out. That's why I was wondering if you guys were like arguing or screaming at each other or anything, because I would be freaking out if that should happen. And you start just
Tension,
like putting the blame on each other. So like you're probably the best guy for that to happen to because you're very calm.
tensions were definitely high, and again, like I would have been freaking out, but we had it insured, so I like wasn't too worried. Anyway, so like everyone goes nuts on the beach. So then Sophia hears that and like runs down, and we found it. The funny thing is though, is it was like literally exactly where we thought it was, just like where we were digging, but like it was like 3, 4 inches down, and we just probably touched it, but like went
Gave
over
up.
it.
Yeah.
And it's nuts. Like if you drop a ring in the sand, like it will go down like multiple inches, which is I would have expected to be right on top, but it no, it
Yeah.
went way down.
Was it
So
really like light, fluffy sand kind of like
yeah,
white sand?
yeah.
That's
So
that's tough, man. That's a tough situation. I mean, regardless if you have it insured or not, that's a terrible feeling. Like
yeah.
it's your literally your honeymoon. Like you just recently got married and you lose the ring already. Like that would be devastating.
And it was funny, like everyone would just like, again, this was a pretty small resort. We're on a pretty remote island. Like the people aren't leaving this resort that much. And so like we're kind of famous, and like throughout every lunch, dinner, and breakfast, like people would come up like, "Oh my God, you're the couple that like lost the ring and found it. Like how'd you lose it?" And like Sophie would have to say, like, "Yeah, I'm a dumbass," or whatever. And like she only wore her like silicone ring around afterwards. And
Yeah.
but yeah, Jason and his wife, which I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on. We
I
went
hope
out with
Jason's
dinner with
wife doesn't
them.
listen to the podcast. She's gonna be
Yeah,
devastated.
I'll have to send them the link.
She was looking forward to getting a shout out for helping find the ring, but no, she just gets
Yeah.
shit on Greg for getting the. That's like me for getting Katie Ledecky, dude. So now we're even.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great story. That's something you're gonna be able to tell forever. I mean, and imagine if you never found it and like someone caught wind of either you guys losing it or just in general was like metal detecting at night or something and found it. Like that would be one of the greatest finds of all time.
Apparently, though, so I think all rings, like diamonds, have engraved like in the middle, like some like microscopic like serial number. So if someone was going to like find it and then like sell it, we actually would get notified that like someone, like again, like maybe it was a pawn shop and they don't do this, but like they were going to sell it to like a real jeweler,
Yeah,
they
if it
would
had to
have
be
a database
on an
like with,
organized market, yeah,
yeah.
that's
So
true. But I don't picture someone in a foreign market
no,
selling
no,
it to like K Jewelers or some shit.
right in the Caribbean.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's good. But overall, how was the trip overall besides that story? I mean, that was a great story. Thank you for telling it. But
Yeah.
overall,
Sorry
ups
for
and
taking
downs. I
so
mean,
long.
oh, that was
10 out of
great.
10. It's a
Great.
great time.
10 out of 10. Awesome time. Good. Good. You'd recommend that place, that resort?
Yeah, yeah. If anyone is in the credit card game and wants a good place, hit me up because we use a lot of our points from wedding spend to kind of be able to book that place. So it was a good, a, a, yeah, great option. Really good food, and remote, and we could snorkel right there. There was like things we could paddleboard. There's like things to do on the resort. So we didn't have a ton of reason to leave, and we did some exploring off the resort, but made it really easy just to have a good time there.
Yeah, that's good. Good to hear.
Yeah, and I need to send you a picture. I think Bob Huggins might have been there, but that was not confirmed.
Yeah, send a picture. Was he
Sounds good.
hammered? It was probably Bob Huggins if he was hammered.
He had a beer at like 9 a.m. So
Yeah, he was probably drunk, and it was probably Bob Huggins, but that's pretty good. He is currently unemployed, so he was probably down
yeah,
there enjoying his time. That's for sure.
yeah.
We're making a trip to Florida here pretty soon, end of March. So that's gonna be with my family, so that'll be nice. But speaking of
We're in
that,
Florida.
going to like the Tampa area, it's St.
Nice.
Petersburg. So it's opening weekend and then in the MLB and the end of our trip. So I'm gonna try to go to a Rays game. They play the Blue Jays at the Trop. So I told Jackie I got to bring her to the Trop. She got to see it. Like, if she's gonna be my
Yeah,
wife
rite of
someday, she's
passage.
got to be in the Trop. Yeah, for sure. So I brought Nate to the Trop. He loved it. So now I got to bring Jackie there.
Oh yeah.
But we've been doing like since our New Year's resolution or whatever. Since New Year's, we've been doing like this TikTok trend. It's like a soft 75. Have you heard of it?
No.
So the main thing, the real thing, is like a hard 75 or 75 hard, one of the two. I forget which one it is, but it's like the normal one is like 75 days straight. Like you work out 1 hour every day outside and another hour every day inside. So it's like 2 hours of working out a day. It's like eating completely clean, no cheat days, no alcohol. Um, Read like 10 pages of a book or a chapter of a book or something. Drink like 2 liters of water a day or something. A couple different like measurements that you have to get to. So we were like, that's too extreme. We're never going to be able to maintain
There's
anything
no way
like
that this
that.
was your idea, by the way, right? This was all Jackie, right?
Yeah, I mean, partly, yeah. We were just like, we stumbled across this, and then we stumbled across this soft 75. So it's like a modification of the hard 75. So it's like exercise 6 days a week for 45 minutes to an hour. And then the one day a week, the seventh day is like active recovery or something. So like you go for a walk or something like that. Basically, 7 days a week, you're doing some sort of exercise. Um, you read 10 pages of a book, you drink 2 liters of water. It's just like generic, like eat clean. Um, and then or no alcohol except for social occasions. So that's like the twist on the hard one is like you can drink socially, but like I can't come home from work and drink. And then what's the last one? Fuck. Oh yeah, we just said like our own twist was no soda. So I used to drink a lot of soda, so I'm cutting out soda. So we started this on January 2nd.
Dang.
And so
Okay.
it came out to like just about 75 days until our trip. And so it's February 29th. I'm still doing a pretty good job of it. The thing that I definitely have not maintained is the reading part. I stopped that.
What are you reading, bro?
I,
Come on.
I stopped that like a month in, but I made it a while. But like I just come from work and I do not want to read, and like I only own one book right now, and I'm basically finished with it. So I was just like was kind of like treading water with this one like pharmacist finance book, and it got really boring, so I just stopped reading it. But Jackie's been like plowing through books. I think she's read like 8 books since the start of the
Dang.
journey thing. Um, I haven't had any soda. I only drink socially. I work out like 6 days a week on
Good for
average.
y'all.
I usually drop the ball on that like seventh day of recovery or whatever. Usually like the seventh day, I'm just a lazy
I,
bum.
I feel like the original one, like working out for 2 hours a day, like actually isn't healthy. Like, and I would argue that like you should push yourself, like you should do some like shorter increments of training that are like pushing yourself harder, but for shorter amounts.
Like higher intensity.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. Well, that's why one is the indoor and one's outdoor. It's not all in the same workout.
But like, I don't know. Like, I think that there's value in being like, go run 2 miles as fast as you can, or go do like, do 400s. Like,
Yeah,
you get value from that rather than just like becoming a marathon runner for working out 2 hours a day. Like, unless you're doing only long distance, like that's bad for you. I feel it.
that's
I
true.
don't know. I guess
I didn't
I'm
do a lot of research into it, but we also thought that it was too intense for us. So
yeah,
that's hence the soft 75 that we're doing. But just trying to eat
I like
better,
that.
trying to help with my calories. But like last year when I was doing this whole workout thing, you remember my New Year's resolution, I started February 1st,
Yeah.
which is genius, by the way. If anyone's doing a gym New Year's resolution, start it on February 1st instead, because most New Year's resolutions die after a month. So those people will all be gone. Um, But yeah, it didn't go that well because I didn't really change my diet at all. So I was working out like maybe 4 days a week back then. But now I'm doing like 6 days a week. But 2 of those days are usually just like cardio. But it's about 6 days a week, and I'm down like 17 pounds.
Dang, dude. Hell
So
yeah.
having some progress, so that's good. I
That's
have more
great.
protein. I didn't really have any protein back last year when I did this too. So just I bought some powder. Just been smashing that every morning too. So
Good for you,
I
man.
think you're supposed to like have the total amount of protein of like your body weight or something, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
that is nuts.
Like
Got
that's
to
a
eat
lot,
a lot of like meat or chicken to get there.
like a lot of chicken, yeah, and like a
Yeah.
lot of like protein bars and protein powders and shit like that.
Cottage cheese,
Yeah,
chocolate
and I
milk.
hate cottage cheese, so I can't do that. And like apparently peas have a lot of protein. I hate
Hmm.
peas, so I'm not touching that shit. Um,
Do you feel better?
I feel a
Like
little,
more energy?
yeah, I feel better. I feel like more confident for sure, like a little bit. Like I was
Got that
just like
swagger
down in the
back.
dumps for a long time, but so that helps a little bit.
Cool. Good for you, man.
Yeah,
I do
thanks.
have a bone to pick with you though.
What's that?
I was expecting to get some baked goods in the mail.
Yeah, well, give it some time. When I get back from vacation, I'll send you some baked goods. It's going to be too tempting to have baked goods in front of my face if I
Okay.
can't eat them.
Okay. I'll give you a pass.
So give me a pass. When I get back from Florida, I'll make you some baked goods and I'll mail them. Did we get an official report on if I lost that bet or not?
Yeah, you did, but we can. I don't have this. I don't have it pulled up, but you did lose, but that's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to see a point breakdown for
Sounds
Evan
good.
viewers at the next episode. So that's your homework for next time we record.
I,
Okay.
I can do that.
Which at our pace should be about high school graduation time, like mid-June. So
Are you gonna
uh,
keep up with this soft 75 when you're done?
I don't think so. I think when I come back from the trip, I think I'm going to do a lighter version of it. I don't think I'm
Yeah.
going to stay as intense. Like I think when I get back, I'm going to drink a soda the first day I come back because I really miss soda. But I'm going to just try to like have these lifestyle changes slowly evolve into
Yeah.
my life. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to my bad habits and just gain all this weight back. So I need to try to maintain, but I don't know if I can keep up with this at this
Yeah.
rate
Yeah.
because like
That makes sense.
I come home every night from work and I want to have a drink and I can't, and that drives me crazy. So once I like get done with that, like I did dry January, I think I drank on like socially on like January 27th or something. But I did mostly dry January and like I just need to have a couple cocktails, and then maybe I can get back, but like I need to get some of that stuff back in my life because
Yeah.
that'll treat some of the sadness. But beyond that, I think I'm going to try to keep up with like at least the exercise portion and the eating healthier portion.
Hell yeah.
What
Good
about
look at you growing in front of our audience's eyes.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to just make these changes because I'm a piece of shit right now. So, all right, why don't we wrap this thing up for today? It
Let's
was a
do
good
it.
episode. I gotta get to work here soon, but thank you for making time for me. I appreciate it. Any last words for our viewers?
Go Bulldogs. We got Arch Madness and hopefully a March Madness men's team and women's team to watch. I think the women will probably make it regardless, but men might need some magic next week.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be tough to beat Indiana State in the tournament,
Yeah.
and
We beat them
Drake like
once.
Drake's pretty up and down, but when they're up, they're up. So I'm hoping that they can have a successful Arch Madness and then get the auto bid into the tournament. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as competitive as it was before with like Loyola in the conference, and and UNI is not what they used to be. They're still tough, but Murray State isn't who they were last year. They're not very
Right.
good this year.
Belmont used to
So
be a tourney team
Belmont
every
used to be a
year.
tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when those teams joined the MVC, I was just like, we are fucked. But it turns out we're doing okay. We're still like one of the top teams in the conference. So should be good to see if we make it.
I think we're guaranteed the 2 seed now. So
Oh, that's good. That's good to
yeah.
hear. Yeah. Um, One last thing I wanted to say because I just thought about it is we were talking about the baked goods that I owe you, and I'm a little bit of a hypocrite here because I said I don't want to have baked goods in front of me, but I did purchase some Girl Scout cookies recently.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
So I haven't taken them home
Supporting
yet,
the
so they haven't
troops.
been home, so it's easy not to eat. But yeah, support the troops. Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Support the troops, supporting my coworkers. I got some Girl Scout cookies coming in the shipment here soon, so I'll probably wait till after Florida to eat those.
Okay. Look at
Hopefully they don't
that.
go bad. Maybe I'll throw them in the freezer.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. What's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Probably the Samoas. I
What the
think
hell's a Samoa?
it's the
Like
one
a Hawaiian
that's
person?
no
A Samoan?
the Samoa.
Is that the coconut
It's
ones, you psycho?
yeah. It has coconut
Oh my
chocolate.
God, of course you like the coconut shit.
What do
Why do
you
you always have
think?
to be so weird and all your things that you enjoy in life?
I don't know. The mint ones are good too.
Thin mints? No,
Yeah,
thin mints are
dude.
overrated, dude.
Okay, I need to find a database that has like favorite Girl
Well,
Scout
yeah,
cookies
Thin
and get
Mints is
back to you
probably up. Yeah.
because I think that those two are the top two. What's your favorite?
Well, okay, so I pulled up this picture from my coworker. You said yours are what, Samoans?
Yeah,
Those aren't even on
Caramel
this.
Delights or
Oh, caramel.
whatever.
It's okay.
They
Okay.
must have changed the name.
They must have changed. Yeah, because they can't. It's probably like cultural appropriation to call them Samoan.
Yeah, for sure.
So my favorite are definitely the peanut butter patties. So I bought 2 boxes of those bad boys, and then I'm gonna try these new ones. They're called Adventurefuls, indulgent brownie inspired cookies with caramel flavored creme with a hint of sea salt.
I guess
Those sound
I'll have to try them, but
yeah, those sound fire. And I think they just have like traditional chocolate chip cookies now too.
okay. Dang.
So shout out the Girl Scouts, man. Support the troops.
Yeah,
Even if you buy them and toss them, support the troops.
it's for a good cause.
It's for a good cause. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This was a fun episode, Craig. I appreciate you. This was episode 29. Next episode's a big milestone. Maybe we'll have a special guest on. Maybe we won't. We'll see what happens. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time.
Peace out.